The wind crawls through the hollow trees, whispers on the midnight breeze. Shadows stretch where the lamplight fades, carrying cries from the unmarked graves. Drums that echo, a mournful sound like voices trapped beneath the ground. A hollow thrum, a ghostly choir rising up from the funeral pyre. Footsteps fall on the gravel road, each step heavy with tales untold. The moon hangs low, a pale disguise, watching the earth where silence lies. Drums that echo, a mournful sound like voices trapped beneath the ground. A hollow thrum, a ghostly choir rising up from the funeral pyre. Screams tear through the pitch black night, shattered memories claw for light. In the distance the thunder moans, a dirge for the souls who walk alone. The earth can't keep its secrets deep, roots grow restless, shadows creep. Every beat a story untold of broken hearts and lives grown cold. The mud swallows boots, the rain drowns the cries in the trenches. Mercy is the first thing to die. The rats feast on crumbs on the living and the dead. The sky weeps for the broken, painted crimson red. Shadows stretch along where the sun dares not tread. Brother turns on brother, their hearts hanging by threads. The cold bites deep, but the fear cuts sharper. Each breath a gamble, each step feels darker. Oh, in the trenches where the angels won't fly, where prayers are whispers and hope's left to dry. The soul gets heavy, the spirit turns stone. In the trenches you're born to die alone. Blood and rain mix, forming rivers of despair. The scent of regret lingers thick in the air. I hear the screams, though their lips don't part. Each man's a ghost, clutching fragments of a heart. Oh, in the trenches where the angels won't fly, where prayers are whispers and hope's left to dry. The soul gets heavy, the spirit turns stone. In the trenches you're born to die alone. And I scream at the silence, but it screams back at me. A choir of shadows lost to eternity. The ground shakes beneath the grave. the hills where the rivers run dry. The dust eats the sun and the vultures fly high. They march in the dark, their faces undone. They're no longer men, just shadows carrying guns. No names, no faces, just whispers in the breeze. Ghosts of the fallen brought down to their knees. They walk with the weight of the wars they've begun. They're no longer men, just shadows carrying guns. Their boots hit the ground, but they don't leave a trace. The fight took their souls, left no saving grace. Echoes of battles where the silence stuns. They're no longer men, just shadows carrying guns. No names, no faces, just whispers in the breeze. Ghosts of the fallen brought down to their knees. They walk with the weight of the wars they've begun. They're no longer men, just shadows carrying guns. But it dies in the throat, a cry for salvation that no one will quote. The moon sees it all, the damage that's done. They're no longer men, just shadows carrying guns. No names, no faces, just whispers in the breeze. Ghosts of the fallen brought down to their knees. They walk with the weight of the wars they've begun. They're no longer men, just shadows carrying guns.
Of the morning, I ride alone. Every step on this earth feels like a heavy stone. The cries of the fallen, they echo in my mind. A general's burden, no peace can I find. Each soul that I led now lays me to rest. The stars in the sky, they flicker and fade. A dark path I walk for the choices I made. I hear their voices, they call out my name. A shadow that haunts me, a ghost I can't tame. Every life I commanded now weighs on my soul. Alone like the rain. The fields are all silent, but the screams still remain. The weight of my sins is a shackle and chain. Did I lead them to glory or to an early grave? What's the price of valor when there's no one to save? The faces of the fallen, they haunt every night. I'm a prisoner of guilt in this cast long and wide, forever burdened by the lives that died.
Graveyard whispers where the wildflowers have grown. The breeze don't sing, it just rattles a chain, carrying the burden of the damned and the slain. Tags don't shimmer, they don't shine no more, just rusted reminders of the blood and the war. No stories of valor, just cold breathless cries. They carry the weight of death where hope once lies. Blue steel caves with the soil of the past. Memories haunt like a shadow long cast. Steps a reminder, every mile a scar, and the night doesn't heal, it just pulls you apart. ID tags don't shimmer, they don't shine no more, rusted reminders of the blood and the war. No stories of valor, just cold breathless cries. They carry the weight of death where hope once lies. In my chest, don't know how to sleep. Each name on that chain is a secret I keep, a burden too heavy for the strongest to bear. They echo in silence, they hang in the air. ID tags don't shimmer, they don't shine no more, just rusted reminders of the blood and the war. No stories of valor, just cold breathless cries. They carry the weight of death where hope once lies.
the field where the cold winds moan. A rifle lies silent, its story unknown, still stained with the weight of labs that tore. If it could speak, it would beg for no more. Hands that held it, hearts made of stone, the echo of violence, a world overthrown, aimed at a man, a father, a son. If it could speak, it'd curse what's been done. If a rifle could weep, it'd drown in the flood. Tears of sorrow mixed with rivers of blood. It'd scream to the heavens, take this from me, for the burden it bears is eternity. Barrel cold, but the memories burn. Fields of death and no return. Voices silenced, dreams ripped apart. If it could speak, it'd tear out its heart. Rust creeps in, but it cannot erase the pain etched deep in its metal face. Laid down in the dirt, forgotten and bare, it still whispers the sins it was forced to share. If a rifle could weep, it'd drown in the flood. Tears of sorrow mixed with rivers of blood. It'd scream to the heavens, take this from me, for the burden it bears is eternity.
He stood by the door, boots on the floor, the ring in his hand. He swore he'd do more, promised he'd fight for the land of the free, but he left me behind with the weight of that plea. The sky turned to black as the seasons rolled by. No letters, no whispers, just silence to cry. I waited each night with the lamp burning low, but the man with the ring never walked through the snow. The ring he took, it still haunts my dreams. A cold, bitter truth that tears at the seams. The vows that we made, now buried and gone. The ring he took, but his soul's moving on. I still see a shadow out there in the field, the ghost of a promise, a heart left unhealed. The winds carry whispers of battles he'd fight, but the war took his body and swallowed the light. I screamed to the heavens, but the stars didn't care. They just blinked in their coldness, my grief laid bare. A widow in waiting, though papers say no. The ring he took burns in the frost and the woe. The ring he took, it still haunts my dreams. A cold, bitter truth that tears at the seams. The vows that we made, now buried and gone. The ring he took, but his soul's moving on.
field is quiet, but his soul won't rest. Shadows of faces, they haunt his chest. A bottle in hand, trying to drown the cries, but the smoke in his mind never dies. Oh, the battle's done, the war is gone, but the nights are long, the ghosts live on. No peace in silence, no solace in sips. The fight's over, but the smoke never lives. He walks the town where no one can see the scars he hides, the man he used to be. His hands still tremble, his breath still shakes, the memories scream, his heart still breaks. Oh, the battle's done, the war is gone, but the nights are long, the ghosts live on. No peace in silence, no solace in sips. The fight's over, but the smoke never lives. In the dead of night, he hears their calls, voices rising like the wind through the walls. He shouts back, but his words are drowned in the choking haze of the battleground. Morning light comes, but it don't mean much. The shadows linger, cold to the touch. He's a man still fighting, though the world has turned. The smoke in his soul forever burns.
And stained with the weight of the soil, digging graves in the midnight toil. Each mound a story, each plot a name, but the ghosts rise up whispering blame. Hands that buried hundreds in the ground, but can't lay to rest the cries that sound. Every shovel's thrust, a shadow remains, a past that haunts like blood in my veins. I've walked the fields where the tombstones lie, each one a witness, each one a sigh. The wind cuts sharp like a guilty plea. A choir of the lost sings to me. Oh, the dirt may cover, but it never hides the faces etched in the dark of my mind. I scream to the heavens, but no one replies. Just the echoes of the dead in the blackened skies. Hands that buried hundreds in the ground, but can't lay to rest the cries that sound. Every shovel's thrust, a shadow remains, a past that haunts like blood in my veins. The whiskey burns, but it won't erase the weight of the lives I can't replace. I hear their voices in the cold hard rain. The hands of a sinner can't cleanse the stain. The moon hangs low, a ghostly glare. Dusty boots sink in the night's despair. His hands are trembling, his breath is thin. A battle outside, but the war's within. God forgive what I can't undo. This blood-stained ground's a bitter hue. I whisper to the shadows, I shout to the air. This is my burden, my whispered prayer. The rifle's cold, its weight so real, a quiet companion to the pain I feel. He's just a shadow in my crosshairs frame, but shadows have faces and faces have names. God forgive what I can't undo. This blood-stained ground's a bitter hue. I whisper to the shadows, I shout to the air. This is my burden, my whispered prayer. The silence breaks with a deafening sound. Echoes roll through the battleground. I see his eyes as he falls to the floor, but his face will haunt me forevermore. The stars above, they mark my pain. Their light untouched by the blood-red stain. I close my eyes, but I still see the man I was, the man I can't be. Under the moon, a soldier rides,
his trembling hand by lantern light. Ink on paper, so laid bare, but the wind took it, no one's there. A mother waits by the porch each day, praying for words from far away. But silence fell, her hope grew thin. A war stole more than her next of kin. Letters lost in the shadows of war, never delivered, hearts left sore. Words of love buried in the sand, reaching for home with a broken hand. In the trenches with dirt-streaked face, he dreamed of her in a warm embrace. Tell her I love her, his heart would cry, but those words stayed where soldiers die. The battlefield holds secrets untold, of paper dreams and hearts grown cold. Voices silence, their echoes fade in the dark of night where debts are paid. Shout to the heavens, why were they lost? These lives and letters, what was the cost? The ink has dried, but the pain still bleeds. A war of silence, no one heeds.
Blood-red coffins line the field, a story left untold. The soil drinks the sorrow, the young and brave turn cold. A mother's tears stain the earth, or a boy won't come back home. The echoes of the cannon sing where the silence roams. Blood-red coffins, a soldier's lullaby, covered in the shadows of the ones who had to die. The truth is buried deeper than the graves we see. War's harsh reality, it ain't meant to set us free. The generals sip their whiskey, maps spread on the floor, while boys with trembling hands march off to settle scores. The moon hangs heavy, watching blood spill in the night, and the stars turn their faces from the horror of the fight. Blood-red coffins, a soldier's lullaby, covered in the shadows of the ones who had to die. The truth is buried deeper than the graves we see. War's harsh reality, it ain't meant to set us free. The preacher says they're heroes, their sacrifice divine, but their screams still haunt the trenches, caught in the barbed wire line. Their medals shine in silence, their stories left unsaid. For every flag that's flying, there's a name carved for the dead. A child walks the battlefield, her eyes wide with fear. She sees the broken rifles and the helmets scattered near. Her tiny hands are trembling as she kneels down to pray. In a world of blood-red coffins, how do we find our way?
world was quiet, the battle done. Smoke and ash eclipsed the sun. The flag still waved, but hearts lay torn. Victory's weight, a crown of thorns. The soil drank deep of blood and rain. The echo screamed of endless pain. I stood alone, my brother's gone. The cost too high for what we want. What's the price of glory? Tell me true. When the sky's gone black and there's nothing new, the songs of triumph don't ease the ache. Victory's a shadow you can't escape. A mother's tears, a widow's cry, the whispers haunt beneath the sky. Each step I take, their faces glare. The ghosts of war, they're always there. Shout to the heavens, beg for peace, but silence answers, it never speaks. The medals tarnish, the banners fade, and in my chest a debt unpaid. What's the price of glory? Tell me true. When the sky's gone black and there's nothing new, the songs of triumph don't ease the ache. Victory's a shadow you can't escape.
The ground shakes, the sky's on fire. Echoes of war, a haunting choir. Mud and blood beneath my feet. The past in prison cruelly made. The air's thick with iron sting. The devil laughs, his bullets sing. A hollow howl cuts through the night. Memories burn in the dim twilight. Artillery storms tearing through the sky, ripping through soil where the lost souls lie. Each thunderous roar, tale untold, a life forgotten, a heart turned cold. The faces fade, but the scars remain. The echoes scream through the falling rain. A soldier's cry, a mother's plea, their ghosts march still inside of me. I shout to the heavens, but silence replies. The weight of the past won't let me rise. Each shell that falls, a chapter of pain, written in smoke etched in my brain. Artillery storms tearing through the sky, ripping through soil
Ashes dance in the moonlight's glow, a uniform scorch where the wild winds blow, stitched with stories now blackened and torn, left in the wreckage, memories worn. A badge once shining now melted away, charred like the words I can never say. The fire took more than the fabric and thread, it swallowed the voices of the living and dead. Burned and left behind, forgotten in the dust. The smoke tells a tale of betrayal and trust. In the embers I see faces I can't erase, shouting their truths from a shadow place. Fading on a blood-soaked ground, a silence louder than any battle sound. The wreckage whispers secrets untold of dreams that shattered and hearts turned cold. Raise your voice, scream it loud and clear, for the ghosts that linger, for the pain and fear. The flames may have taken the threads that bind, but the stories live on in the wreckage behind. Burned and left behind, forgotten in the dust. The smoke tells the tale of betrayal and trust. In the embers I see faces I can't erase, shouting their truths from a shadow place. Dawn broke red on a field of despair, boots in the mud and the cold biting air. The preacher said faith would guide us through, but faith ain't much when the devil walks too. Smoke rose high, a curtain of gray, hiding the sun, stealing the day. I clutched a cross that hung from my chest, but God felt silent as the bullets did their best. Oh, faith shattered, torn and frayed, in the blood and the mud where the innocent lay. Each shout and cry, another thread undone, in the war-torn silence where faith comes undone. The faces I knew now haunt my sleep, their laughter drowned in the trenches deep. The hymns we sang now choke on ash, hope burned away in the cannon's flash. I screamed to the heavens, I cursed the ground, echoes of fury, the only sound. Where was the light? Where was the grace? In the shadow of war, it's a godless place. Oh, faith shattered, torn and frayed, in the blood and the mud where the innocent lay. Each shout and cry, another thread undone, in the war-torn silence where faith comes undone. under the willow, where the shadows creep, lie souls in the silence. Forever they sleep, never a sunrise to light up their sky. Dreams left unspoken, they didn't ask why. They were taken too soon, torn at the seam, laid in the dark before they could dream. The earth holds their story, whispered and low, where no light can reach, where no rivers flow. The barn doors still swing in the cold evening wind, echoes of laughter that never begins. Their voices are faint, like a faraway stream, stolen away before they could dream. They were taken too soon, torn at the seam, laid in the dark before they could dream. The earth holds their story, whispered and low, where no light can reach, where no rivers flow. The crows on the fence rail, cry out in despair. Their wings cut the air like a silent prayer. A mother still waits by the old front door for children who will come back nevermore. The stars overhead burn bright and cold, watching the young who'll never grow old. The moon casts its gaze on the valley below, where time forgot them, where the wild flowers grow.
The mud soaked in sorrow, blood paints the clay, where the sun won't rise and the skies turn gray. A rifle still warm, but the hands are cold. Stories untold, in the dark they unfold. Ghosts in the trenches, they whisper and moan. Shadows of brothers who'll never go home. Their cries haunt the wind, their faces the ground. The silence of death, where no peace is found. The earth trembles softly, as though it still grieves for the lives it has swallowed, for the dreams it bereaves. Shells carve the night, the stars are erased, and the scent of despair is all that we taste.
of death, where no peace is found. The spirit tries screaming, the air thick with pain. A war fought in shadows, the scars still remain. Their voices like thunder, they echo, they fight. In the trenches of darkness, there's no end in sight. Cast a pall on this wasteland of woe. Restless souls wander, no place left to go. The ground bears their burden, the weight of their strife. Forever they're caught between death and life.
Empty helmets scattered wide, shadows linger where they died. No boots marching, no flags raised high, just the silence of a ghost-filled sky. Echoes of voices lost to the breeze, stories buried beneath the trees. No one left to cry or grieve, only the wind has permission to breathe. Rusty steel and broken bones, a field of war now overgrown. The earth has swallowed every name, but the scars remain just the same. Echoes of voices lost to the breeze, stories buried beneath the trees. No one left to cry or grieve, only the wind has permission to breathe. The ground remembers every step, the blood, the tears, the secrets kept. It whispers tales to the stars above of hatred's cost and a lack of love. Empty helmets, a solemn sight, witness to an endless fight. The moon casts shadows on this grave, a field of the fallen, silent and brave.
clock strikes 12, the town is still. A widow's sigh rolls down the hill. Her hands once warm now clasp the cold. A love gone young, her heart turned old. The porch light burns, the shadows creep. A rifle hangs where dreams used to sleep. The chair is empty, the boots are dust. She whispers prayers to steel and rust. Oh, the widow's waltz, they dance alone to a mournful tune, the past they've known. Each step a tear, each twirl a scar. Their partners lost in a distant star. The letters fade, the ink turns gray. Promises made in a yesterday. The field is quiet, the battle done, but grief keeps marching one by one. Raise your voices, cry to the skies, for sons and lovers who said goodbyes. The stars bear witness, the moon it weeps for generation lost, and secrets it keeps. Oh, the widow's waltz, they dance alone to a mournful tune, the past they've known. Each step a tear, each twirl a scar. Their partners lost in a distant star. The fields are quiet, no cries in the air, just smoke and shadows of ghostly despair. The earth is pale in crimson and gray. The sun hides its face, won't light up the day. Boots lie empty, their owners laid still. Dreams of the living turn cold on the hill. The wind whispers secrets it dare not repeat. A battlefield story carved deep in defeat. The smoke never clears, it clings to the ground. A shroud for the fallen, no solace is found. Their voices are gone, but their silence will stay. The echoes of war won't just fade away. I walk through the ashes grind. Each step feels heavy, weighed down by the time. My throat burns with sorrow, my eyes sting with loss. This land's been baptized in blood and its cause. I shout to the heavens, but they don't reply. The stars turn their backs to the tears in my eye. This ground knows the truth that no one will tell. It's a place where the living meet pieces of hell. The smoke never clears, it clings to the ground. A shroud for the fallen, no solace is found. Their voices are gone, but their silence will stay. The echoes of war won't just fade away.
Dusty boots on broken ground, a crimson trail where dreams are drowned. Echoes of war in the silent night. The past clings tight like a ghost in flight. Soldiers' footprints soaked in blood, through the rain, the tears, the flood. Every step tells a story untold of a heart once warm, now turned cold. Shattered walls and skies of gray, where sunlight fears to find its way. In the shadows and names carved deep for the ones we lost, the ones we keep. Soldiers' footprints soaked in blood, through the rain, the tears, the flood. Every step tells a story untold of a heart once warm, now turned cold. Screams still linger in the wind, the weight of sins, the battle's pen. Each heartbeat fights to break the chain, but the echoes call me back again. Fields of fire, rivers of pain, the scars of war still leave their stain. And though I walk, I can't escape this endless march, this bitter fate. Earth still whispers where the fire once roared. Ashes and shadows line the old dirt floor. The bones of the past rattle in the night, faint echoes of hell just out of sight.
still clings to the weeping pine. The wind hums a dirge, mournful malign. Every step feels like a sin reborn. The weight of this place leaves my soul torn. Oh, faint echoes, they scream and they cry. Memories burn though the flames have died. Haunted by shadows, can't escape the smell of the faint echoes from where stood hell. Rusted chains lie where they dragged us down. Bloodstains still seep through the cursed ground. A blackened crow circles, calling my name. This scarred land will never be the same. A hollow bell ringing the faint echoes of hell. Oh, faint echoes, they scream and they cry. Memories burn though the flames have died. Haunted by shadows, can't escape the smell of the faint echoes from where stood hell.
Endless white crosses, row after row, a field of silence where the cold winds blow. Each name a story carved into stone. Beneath the earth they lie alone. The boots in the mud, the blood on the sand, echoes of rifles and trembling hands. The war never ended for those who came back. They carry the weight of that solemn black track. Crosses, ghosts in the night, shadows that whisper of wrongs and right. A field full of heroes, their stories untold. A burden so heavy it swallows the soul. Mothers who weep, their tears never dry. Fathers who choke on a long bitter sigh. Brothers and sisters left holding the pain, while white crosses stand in the cold and driving rain. Loudly I cry to the heavens above. What price is this freedom? What cost is this love? The echoes come back, hollow and bare. Just the sound of the wind through the cold empty
my heart torn apart, each name like a dagger that pierces my heart. The field is so quiet, yet screams fill my head. The weight of their absence, the words left unsaid.